So I just woke up. I literally just woke up and woke up with uh, a sense of dread at first because of the last few days. Um, I thought I was still living in that nightmare situation where the computer wouldn't start up, and I woke up and I remember thinking, "Oh my god, I fixed it, didn't I? And I fixed it." Uh, yeah, because I'm cut off basically. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm. Um, yeah, yeah. This is what happens when all your family have passed away, and except for your daughters, and you don't see them very often, and you feel like you're living inside a box basically, and a lot of people don't understand what it is when you get older. But when you get older, uh, you have to watch everyone die. Basically, it's morbid and miserable, but that's what happens to everybody, right? Happens to everybody, because we all start out young. We have a family around us. We have our brothers, our sisters. We have our dads, our mums. We have everybody there, and we kind of scream for a little bit of space. When you were younger, oh, I want my own place, I want my own room, I want to do my own thing, right? But when you get older, it's the other way around. It is the other way around. You wish, oh, I wish my brother was still here, I wish my sister was still here, I wish my mum was still here. Oh my God, I wish my dad was still here. No, the world kind of caves in on you, right? It caves in on you because you realize that everybody around you is just people. The other people, they don't have the same family values, connections with you that you had with your family. If you get what I'm saying, you feel like what's the word? You're the oddball, right? You feel like the odd one out, right? You don't fit anymore, or because you haven't got the family around you anymore. That's part of the problem. You just don't have that to fall back on. You don't have a security net. So you tend to create your own safety net, whether that's in gaming, playing games, which I don't do. And now that's another thing, because I mentioned the fact that I don't play games, right? But the fact that I mentioned half a dozen times in these last few videos that I'm not a gamer, all of a sudden YouTube thinks I'm a gamer because they're sending me all these games. No offense, I'm not getting at you guys. I mean, that's what I'm just saying. You have to have a safety net. You have to have something you want to put your space, your safe zone, you have to create that little world that you live in, that bubble. And so we all create that bubble, but some people do it with sports, some people do it with TV, and they just like that for hours, and then I can't do that. I just can't watch. I haven't watched TV for 20 years. I've said this many times. Well, it's since 2003 I haven't watched TV. It's vegetative. It's no state to be in. You need to get active. You need to be doing something. You need to use your brain. Otherwise, your brain stops working. And if you're an athlete, or you're a jogger, or somebody that goes out and enjoys running, do that if that's what you enjoy doing. But I'm not a jogger, and I never was, because of my asthma when I was younger. I couldn't run because I couldn't breathe, and doctors would give me all these things, right, because of my breathing problems, right? So so this is just a little explanation, really. I mean, look, if you want to, I mean, there's people out there, there's one or two out there that will come on my channel and they'll criticize me and they'll say nasty things, but there's a YouTube filter that sometimes blocks that stuff out, and it doesn't even get onto my comment section because it gets automatically censored, because it's set to withhold inappropriate comments. Now, I'm not saying that these people saying these mean things are mean deliberately. They just don't understand. It's because we all have our different values. Some people have a value in some people have still got their families around them and they don't understand what it's like when you get old. I mean, we are living in different times now than what our than what my family lived in. For example, my brothers, my dad and my mum and my grandpa, the kind of times that they lived in, you have to remember this, they had big families, right? They had big families. A lot of people from the 60s and the 40s, it was called the baby boom. Back in the 60s, we had the baby boom, right? And that was when everybody was having lots of kids, right? So we had large families. We had lots of aunts, uncles, cousins. So people had a much bigger option around them to have some kind of social activity that was going on. But in these last few years that I'm talking about, since the 80s, 90s, 2000s, there's been a massive decline in people having lots of kids. So you usually get maybe families that have only got 2 or 3 kids, maybe 2 kids. And we just don't have that same situation that my parents had. So you end up feeling isolated because you have very few aunts. You don't have any aunts, or kids today. I feel sorry for my daughters, because as they grow up, they're gonna realize that they don't have any. There's not going to be any aunts or uncles or anything like that, because they've all died basically, or they haven't even been born, because they haven't. And there's also this other thing, my daughters aren't even interested at the moment really in having children, so there's going to be that void as well. What's going to happen to them when they get older? They're not going to have any daughters or sons, or they've got boyfriends obviously, but it's the world is changing. That's all there is to it, really. So I'm waffling. I don't know what I'm waffling on about, but I'm just telling you the facts of the way it is with me. But anyway, I got the computer sorted. So basically, the SSD drive, the SATA drive, I could only use one slot on that thing at the time, because if I use 2 slots, I get multiple boot errors because I've got 2 boot discs in each one. Well, because the original boot menu that I was using, GAG, which is the boot manager, is still on that disc. So when I put that disc in my removable drive, I can't even swap views right now, but when I put it on that removable drive, my boot menu is there, so I can boot into all the previous operating systems that's on my machine, which is brilliant, because I'm back to where I was basically when I do that. But if I shut down, obviously the computer turns off, and I take out that drive out, like the removable drive, the solid state drive, take it out, then now I've got Windows 7 on a different disk. Put that in, I can boot onto Windows 7, and I've got all my drive letters mapped out on all my other partitions, and it works great. So I can boot into Windows 7, but I don't have multi-booting on that disk, right? My drive boot options are not there because they're actually on the other SSD, which is cool, because that's pretty much how I'd like it anyway. Take the strip down, take the other disk out, the Windows 7 disk, stick my other SSD, which is the third one, into the drive. Now I've got Linux on the host instead of the virtual machine, so I don't have it on the virtual machine anymore. Well, I do have it on the virtual machine, but I also have it on a host now. So I've got options. Options are always good, because if you had a problem, a hardware failure or something like that. I mean, look at this, my bedroom computer is giving me gripe at the moment. Another one. I booted up into it yesterday because I needed to access my router, because I was trying to turn my router settings to turn the internet back on for the network, because I turned the internet, I blocked it on some of the machines. It wouldn't let me in. It said my time is out of sync, but it wasn't out of sync. It was correct. It gave me this stupid security vulnerability problem. It said your time is ahead. I thought, what the hell is it talking about? My time, my clock is ahead. It's advanced. Looking on my phone, I went to sync the time. No difference. It was still the same. Your time is ahead. Oh, God. So I thought I'll go in the bedroom computer, because the old machine in the bedroom doesn't give me all this shit, you know. And so I went on, I tried to log in on there, and I couldn't even log in on there, because I got this message come up, or data corruption or something, or a delayed write error, can't write data to the disk, and that was the other drive. So I've got that to fix as well now. So I'm basically going to have to, and I don't think I can put SATA disks on that bedroom computer, and it's only a print server. That's all I use it for, is a print server. I can't put frigging SATA disks in there, but I could get a PCR to SATA off of that as well. So anyway, I'm going to have to migrate. I'm going to have to make a clone copy of the data that's on the other disk in the bedroom and swap it onto another disk, and then, anyway, enough of my rant. My work's cut out for me. I just wanted to give you a little talk about what's going on. So I've got a whole bunch of videos I'm editing where I was doing all this stuff a few days ago, and that's when I had the crash, you know, the system problem with that's when everything went to pot, basically. So I'm currently compiling all those videos and editing them. So I've copied 4 of them across, and that you're talking about, what, probably 2 hours maybe of video, and I've got to compile it and compress it down as much as I can. So I've got all that to do, and then there's another 6 or 7 videos which I've got to edit down as well, which I didn't copy over because it was taking so freaking long. It's a lot quicker on the hardware version of Zorin. It's working a lot faster on that one, I think. Not particularly that fast, but it was working a little bit faster. Anyway, enough of me ranting on and on. So, as I say, I'm still half asleep, so I'm a little bit emotional. See you later.